In 2014, I was sentenced to 7 years in federal prison for real estate fraud, and I was given 8 weeks to self-surrender to the federal prison in Dublin, California. I live in Utah, and my husband and I had been married at the time for 22 years. We had 5 children. Our youngest children were 7, 12, and 14, and I remember looking at my 7-year-old daughter and wondering how I was going to be gone as long as she had been alive. I know that I was fortunate to get the 8 weeks. I've had people ask, was it worse knowing that you were going to have to leave them? I mean, I don't know how it would have been any other way. I know that I was fortunate. A lot of people don't get time to say goodbye. I think the reason the judge chose to give me the time was that I had been on pretrial release, and so I wasn't a flight risk. And I've had people ask, like, why didn't you run? Why didn't you go to Mexico? Well, I had 5 children, 2 older children, 3 younger children. Where would I go? You know, I'm going to run to Mexico. We were completely financially devastated. We didn't have any money. My husband and kids had to go live with a friend. In some ways that day, I mean, it broke my heart. I remember driving home and feeling just broken, so broken. But I did know that my husband and I would be able to get through it together. I remember knowing that. When I got home, I had an eBay business to try to kind of survive financially. I had been involved in these illegal real estate deals that had crashed and burned. We'd spend every dime we had trying to fight the case with lawyers, and we were just kind of leveled. And so I was running this eBay business, and I told my husband, I'm done. I'm not doing anything anymore. I have 8 weeks to say goodbye to my children. And I remember the next day driving my son to school, and I just had tears streaming down my cheeks because I wondered how I could have missed all these beautiful things in my life. Like, I was so caught up in money and fear and worry and fighting and things that just didn't matter. I remember the last day I had with my family. That night, I laid in bed, and my 7-year-old daughter was between me and my husband, and I just sobbed, and my husband held me tight and promised me that he would take care of our children. And then I walked into each of my children's rooms, and I watched them sleep, and I cleaned our house one last time, and I remember thinking how beautiful it was to be able to take care of my family. My sister called me, and she said, Portia, I know you can do this. And I just started to cry. I said, Kira, I don't think I can do it. And she said, you're the strongest person I know, and Chad loves you so much. I know you can do this. That morning, my mother came and took our children, and my husband drove me 14 hours to Dublin, California, and I walked into a federal prison.